for us, there's no beginning and there's no end. There's no way to say time has finished and now we do it again. No.
What can you tell us about the importance of the Washakibat, what it is, for the people start to understanding?
The calendar is going to be restarted. But differentially from what is the usual way of a thought in which something begins and something closes, Washakibat entangles the philosophy that there's a continuity rather than finalizing or starting. This in here is the continuity. Or if you will want to blend both concepts, the restarting in reality is a continuity. So for us, there's no beginning and there's no end. There's no way to say time has finished and now we do it again. No. And precisely one of the clues to understand this is the Nawal chosen by our ancestors to do the celebration. That is Wasqib, that is number 8, ocho, which is in the Nawalil comprehension and nature of Nawals. 8 is the one that brings back the return, reinitiation. That's why I was using restarting. The way of a something that returns, or the way of a something that following a cycle presents itself once again. And bats, which is the thread of time, and interconnectivity or interconnection. But in this case, I would want to say, yes, the term can apply as, for example, the phenomena in the brain, interconnection, or even if you would want to say so, as the communication between all the elements that compose the human body, as when you are sad and your stomach is in pain, or when you are happy and your bloodstream also goes along with you, or associated phenomena, but also, and more important, lekemapal, which is the thread and the, let's say, the arts of weaving in the Mayan ways, in which an embroidery over a canvas or the art of weaving is precisely equivalent to connecting the dots and interweaving different factors to arrive to a resolution, an idea, or a comprehension of a phenomenon. Then, Wasqibat is going to be the day in which the continuity is not a starting, it's a restarting in interconnections, interconnectivity, or the embroidery of time, the continuity of the thread. This is differentially from other foundations in calendars in which the beginning is Junimosh or Junimish, or Sesipactli in the Central Mexico calendar, or some other related calendars, which initiate in what can be comprehensible to be understood like one the beginning or one the first step, and Sipactli the water, or the crocodile, the alligator, if you want to say, as something that comes from the surface over the water. In this case, we don't put that much attention to that, but to the phenomena that there's no end. So we restart and continue. In that day, the celebration is the biggest in the highlands. You can see hundreds of people working simultaneously, big ceremonies, small ceremonies, candle ceremonies, different ways of ceremonies. And sometimes, peculiarly, if you go to a specific altar, you will have to wait and share the space, or work simultaneously, or even adding yourself by invitation to some other ceremonies. Usually is a communal ceremony. Everybody's invited, everybody can participate. There are, according to the area, there are different foods to be shared, different activities to be developed. But the celebration is that, the celebration of time. Also, another way to understand this is the way in which we, the Maya, are always portrayed as the carriers of time, the burden of time. So this is the day in which the spiritual guide is going to say, I am here. In the continuity or in the restarting, or as to say, it does not matter what has been happening. I am here. I will be here. So, among some spiritual practices, the declaration, the way of speaking, the flowery way, it is about that. I'm here. I continue. I go along with the flow of time. I will be tracking and reckoning time. So what's Ribat is such a huge, amazing, important ceremonies in some towns. Yeah, and according to some lineage practices, this is the day in which the apprentices are going to receive their ceremonial regalia, sometimes including cloth also, sometimes a hat, sometimes the beautiful shirt, but most important, the instruments that you are going to use to count time. For us, it's very important to hold that and to have the recognition of the community, because differentially from what happens in what it can be called like an enlightenment path, which is valid also in Maya, but which differentially from that, the merely act that in that day you are receiving your ceremonial regalia, it indicates that you are at the service of the community. You are presented also. You are introduced not only to the forces of the universe, the sky, the earth, or the ancestors, but also to the community. And from then on, you are not longer the one that you were. Now you are a spiritual guide, and over you is not going you it's going to be on your shoulders, not only the wave of time, but also the social responsibility of being also an intermediary in between peoples, and if you want to say like this, illness and healing, the flowery words to express and to talk and to intervene as an advocate for people in front of, without any religious expression, we can say the universe. You are going to be the advocate for people. We call it those that are going to speak, that are going to make the act of an advocate in front of the universe, the reality. So the spiritual guide who receives the vara, that is the way of being calling for the ceremonial regalia, is from now on a differentiated person in community, but very important, at the service of the community, the common, the utzbalil, the utzukaslimal, the well-being of the community. For people like me that has to travel continuously, it is still the same. Without recognition of the community, or even recognize the recognition of your own teacher, well, you can pretend, you can fake, but for us, it's very important to be introduced as a member, as a member in society, following the millenarian teachings of our elders.